Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So here I am doing another lesson in Python's pygame module. So today I'm going to show you how you can create a paint application. And basically in this paint application, when you click somewhere with your mouse, it's going to draw red dots wherever you are clicking. And I'm going to use Python's pygame module, which is basically a module by which you can create games, animations mainly, but you can also draw these kinds of applications that I'm about to show you. So here I have my Python shell open. I'll go to File and New File to create my new program. And here the first line that I'm going to type is import pygame, which will basically import all of pygame's features into my program. So for example, pygame's functions, variables, all the different features, I'm just importing it in my program, because Python has many different modules such as turtle and tkinter. So I'm just saying that I want to import the pygame module here. In the next line, you type pygame.init, open and close parentheses, and this will basically initialize your pygame. So initialize basically means that it's setting up your pygame for you. So just remember the word setup. So pygame init means you're setting up your pygame for use in your program, and init stands for initialization, or setting up your pygame. So you import it, and then you set it up or initialize your pygame for use. In the third line, I'm going to create a display on top of which I'm going to click to draw my circles. So the command for that is pygame.display.set_mode. So I'm basically saying that with my pygame module, I want to create a display, and set_mode means the properties that my display is going to have. So I'm going to click on, I'm going to write parentheses and then another boxed parenthesis like this, and then I'm going to type 800, 600, and then close these parentheses. So this basically means that I am creating a display to my pygame module, which will have these properties. It will be an 800 by 600 display. And I'm going to store this screen that I just created, or this display that I created, inside a variable, which is basically my container to store items. So I'm going to write screen equals display. So now my display is going to be saved inside my variable screen, or stored inside my container screen. That's what variable is for, so that you don't have to write this entire line when you use your display later on in the code. You can just refer to it as screen. So when I run these 3 lines of code, it's asking me to save it. So I'll just save it in my documents folder, Python installation. Actually, no, I'll just save it in my documents, Python lessons folder. And here, let's just say I want to name it as draw tool new. So when you save it, make sure you don't save your program as pygame or tkinter or turtle. Don't save it as any of your module names, because if you do that, it's going to actually mask your real module and your program is going to be unusable. So when you save it, just give it a different, completely different name that doesn't, that's not like your module names like pygame or tkinter or turtle, or any actually variables or functions that you're using, just to be on the safe side. So I just, my file name is going to be draw_tool_new. So I save that. And then when I run the 3 lines of code, you can see that I have this screen, and it's a black screen by default. It's 800 by 600. This is my display. So that's what we did so far. If I click on the cross, nothing happens. So we have to write a code so that when we click on this cross, the window disappears, which we're going to do next. So right now, we're going to click on this cross on my shell to close this program. Now, in the third line, I'm going to create a heading or a caption for my screen, because if you look at one thing when I run this program is that over here, it still says pygame window. So I'm going to change this caption to something more meaningful. So I'm going to close this and write pygame dot display dot set caption, and then parenthesis, and then a quotation, and I'm going to type click to draw and close the quotation and the parenthesis. So basically what I'm doing on this line is I'm using the pygame module, and on the display that I created previously, I'm going to set a caption or a heading which is going to say click to draw, and make sure you put this click to draw inside this parenthesis and quotation. So now if I run these 4 lines of code, you can see that from pygame window, my heading changed to click to draw. So after this, I am going to, I told you that in this application, this paint application, wherever you click with your mouse, it's going to draw a red circle. So now I'm going to set up the properties or the specifications of my red circle. So the first line that I'm going to type is keep underscore going equals true. And I'm basically here storing the Boolean expression true inside the variable keep underscore going. And we will use this keep going variable to create a loop later on in my game that will run a certain type of code again and again. But I'll just explain that to you as I go along. But right now, just remember that I'm saving this true inside this keep going variable. The next line, I'm going to create, give some information about the circle. So basically, I'm going to draw a red circle. So the value to create red items on your program is 255, 0, 0. So this combination will create the color red. You can change the 0, 0 to say, let's say 80. The third item over here could be 90. So you can use different color combinations, but 255, 0, and 0 is basically red. 0, 255, 0 is a different color. 0, 0, 255 is a different color. So here is my red color, and I'm storing this red color inside this variable red, all cap. And in the third line, I'm going to say how big my circle is going to be. So I'm going to mention its radius. So it's going to be a red circle with radius 15, like this. So that's how my circle is going to be. If you have a higher number, you'll have a big circle. Lower number means smaller circle. So I chose 15 and stored it inside my variable radius. So now all these lines over here, these lines were all part of your pygame setup code. So these lines are needed, like to first you created your screen, you set the display, you gave some properties of your circle. So these are all part of your pygame setup. In the next section, I'm going to create my loop or the game loop. So this loop is usually needed to run your program. It will basically run certain type of code again and again and update the screen. So let's just start typing and go through it line by line. So first, I'm going to type while keep underscore going and then a colon. So here I'm saying that while keep underscore going, so keep underscore going is recording true, right? So in other words, I'm saying that while something is true or while anything is true, and in pygame everything is true. So this basically means that while anything is true, just keep on running the following codes again and again. And this is what I'm going to write in my next line or in my following codes. So here I'm going to type for event in pygame dot event dot get open and close parenthesis. So what I'm doing here is pygame can detect a lot of user action. For example, you can click on your mouse, you can click on the right or left of your arrow keys on your keyboard. So the user can do a lot of events, and pygame can detect those events. And usually these kinds of things we called event handling, where your program is listening for any user interaction and based on what the user typed on the keyboard or on the mouse, it executes certain type of code. So what I'm doing here is I'm telling the program is while my program is running or while keep going, look, like pygame has like dozens of events that it can recognize, such as when you click on like your quit button, or such as when you click on your mouse down button or your mouse up button. So pygame has a list of events that it can recognize from its users. So what I'm saying is that while my program is running, check all pygame's events. So pygame.event.get, this function will basically list all the pygame events that there are. And with this for loop, I'm going to go to each of these events and check which one the user did. So that's why I'm saying that for event, and this event is basically gonna keep track of what kind of event or what kind of mouse clicks or keyboard clicks I did. So for event in pygame.event.get means that from this list of events in pygame where the user is clicking something, go to each of these lists, and then in the next line I'm going to say that if my program finds, if pygame finds that one of the event is a quit event, or in other words, if I click on one of those like cross arrows on top that I showed you, so out of all the list of events, when you are going through each of these events through this for loop, if any of the event is a quit event, or if any of the event is quit event, means that when anyone is clicking on this cross, if you get one of those clicks out of all these dozens of events while you're looping through it, if any event is a quit event, make sure that you close this loop. So the keep going is going to be false, which means that this while loop is going to be discontinued and you'll exit the program. So the keep going is going to be false. However, and make sure these tabs are all, all your lines are properly aligned with tabs. Here we are creating like multiple loops, like for loop is inside this while loop, and inside this for loop we are creating a condition. So these are called nested conditions where you're creating one loop inside the other. So in this line, I'm going to type if I click on the quit, just get out of this while loop. If my event dot type, if my event is a mouse down event, so pygame dot mouse button down. So if it's a quit, just end this loop. But if it's a mouse down, so if I'm clicking on my mouse on anywhere on my display and pygame detects that through while it's looping through this list of events, then this is what it's going to do. It's going to first take the X and Y coordinates of the location where I press my mouse. So it's going to be event.pose. So this line of code, it's just going to record the X and Y coordinate or the location where you clicked with your mouse. So PLS means like the position. So it's going to take the position of where you clicked with your mouse. It's going to take that X and Y coordinate value and it's going to store it inside the variable spot. And then in the next line, you are going to draw a circle on that spot. So I'm going to type pygame dot draw dot circle, and this circle is going to be drawn on my screen, which I created here with this display, and it's going to be it will have the red circle on it, and it will be drawn where? It will be drawn at this location where you click with your mouse. So and this location, this locations is going to be stored in spot in that variable. So it's going to be drawn on this location with this radius. So I'm basically saying that when I clicked with my mouse on that position, use pygame's module to draw a circle on the screen that I created before. The color of the circle will be red. It will be drawn where the user has clicked on that X and Y location with this specific radius. And then I say that, okay, update the screen every time. So pygame.display.update, open and close parentheses. So what I'm doing here is that you're first in this loop every time. So this is going to be looping every time, right? So while your pygame program is running, every time the game is going to check this list of events. If it's a quit event, it's going to exit the program. If it's a mouse down, it's going to do these 3 lines of code. So when you click the first time on your screen, it's going to draw a red spot and update the screen. And then when you loop through it, it's going to loop through it again. And when you click on the screen again, it's going to draw the second circle and update the screen. When it loops, when you go through the loop again, it's going to draw the third circle and update the screen. If you didn't have this update button, your circles, when you click on the screen, your circles are not going to be updated or drawn while you're clicking it. So this update button is needed to keep track of your circles one by one. So I typed that. So let's go ahead and run this program and see if it works. So I have it over here. As you can see, when I click on my window, it just draws red circles wherever I am clicking with my mouse, right? However, when I close this, I'm still getting, it's still, the program doesn't exit. So we need one more line of code. So what happened here is I said that when I click on the quit or the cross in my program, just get out of the loop, right? So that's what it's doing. It's getting me out of the loop, but it's not really letting me exit the screen. So to enable you to exit the screen, this is what you need to type. You need to type pygame.quit, open and close parenthesis. So now when I click on the cross, not only will the loop end, but it will also close the screen with this quit function over here. So I'm just gonna run this, and I can draw the circles here. I can draw like whatever I want, and then if I click on this close, the program quits. So that's all I wanted to show you in Pygame Paint application. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.